What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today with more Danmachi. Now, a lot of you guys have asked for a video on Lili, and I really feel like this unit is substantial, like really, really, really good for Wargame. And today I'm going to kind of explain why. Now, if you're not familiar with this unit, I did finally max the Breaker. She's really good. She dropped with part 1 of the anniversary, if you maybe happen to be watching this later on in the anniversary. And frankly, a lot of people have been asking me, what is a way we can negate Lyd, the Lizard Man, in Wargame? And this unit right here absolutely cuts him off at the knees. It's amazing. And let's kind of go over why here. Now, first things first, this is my unit. My unit actually is going to be a little beefier than most because I have her like level 39 CP across the board. So she's going to have a lot of CP in her. Plus, her weapon gives her agility. You know, everything is really kind of designed around giving this unit as much as she could possibly get. The only real downside to this unit, if I go to my equipment here, is that I only have critical 15 once. I would really prefer to have a double critical 15, but after 450 bellows, I wasn't able to pull it out. So we've got, what are our stats here? So we natively get the critical 15. We got agility 30 and magic 30. So that's just kind of what we're going to deal with here, which means she's not going to be getting criticals, which means for the most part, she probably could hit harder, but we're really going to have to see what happens when we kind of get into the run here. Now, brief overview of this Lili. She's got a good amount of health. At 40-45, she's in a very, very, very good place. She's got a good amount of HP for the unit that she is. Magic attack is extraordinarily high. Her MP is good, her physical attack is good, and her defense is pretty... It's okay, it's not great. But her agility is where she really shines. Now, minus 1396, but you will notice that's like significantly buffed. If we go down here, just to the base stats, let's go down to the album and pull her out of the album. And there she is. All right. So if we go ahead and just max the Breaker and max ascend her, she's still at 1200. She still has a lot in her. And notice her HP is still 3715. And for a magic unit, that's very, very, very good. But her magic stat is absolutely wonderful. The only thing that really stinks is her defense here. Being only an A stat is really bad. Just really, really, really bad. But she will stand on her own. She will do quite well. And she honestly doesn't need the defense. And I'll show you why. Okay? If we go over here. Now, in Wargame, basically we want to set her to balanced, at least for what I'm going to do today. There's a couple different ways you can use her. But for what we're going to do today to take out Lyd, balance, I feel like, is the best way to use her. Because turn 1, she's going to do Leaf Breath. Okay? That's a self-fast... Emphasize fast, because remember, she has a really high agility stat, and this gives her magic and agility plus 75%. That means on turn 2, she'd have 75% more agility. And what's really crazy, if we go down here to her passives, she gives herself 40% agility just in her passives alone. So she is all about agility, like 100%. Okay? But not only does she give herself magic and agility plus 75%, she also does all allies guard rate, physical resist, and magic resist plus 40%, and self 4 actions, low win magic attack with high critical rate. Remember, that's the secondary attack that she's going to do, which is basically just going to be like a big bonus. Because on turn 2, she's going to come in here and she's going to do a, once again, fast skill. On top of all the agility buffs, it's another fast skill. Mid-wind magic attack with high penetration rate, damage plus 30% per each target's strength, magic, and agility buff, then removes that strength, magic, and agility buff. Now, we do have the bleach water, I'm sorry, it's the wind Anakitty. Anakitty that kind of removes strength, magic, and agility buffs, and I've seen a lot of people running that Anakitty with this unit. But if you do that, and you're going after Lyd, if you're really just going after that like high physical, and even magic in some cases, defense, you're negating a lot of the damage this unit can do, because this unit can hit really, really, really hard, but those units have to be buffed, and the whole goal is to get Lili to beat those units out of the gate. Now, if we want to talk apples to apples, let's go down here and find Lyd real quick. So basically, we're hunting Lyd. That is really what we're doing here, because I know a lot of people have asked me, how can we beat this guy? Okay, so Lyd has 1134 in agility, so he's a little bit lower in agility, and his skill 1 will give him strength, agility, and fire attack damage plus 60%. Not quite as high. Remember, Lili gives herself 75%. He's getting 60%. It's a good buff, but not the same. Now, I believe, let's see, strength, agility, and dex, 30%. So, Lili's 40%, he's 30%. So, really, Lili should be absolutely beating him out of the gates. Your Lili, with any kind of, like, when she smacks them a broken, with any kind of really good assist, should be beating Lyd. And some should, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a moment, but because this big thing is skill 2. Remember, skill 2 is going to come out with Raging Blow. That's a fast, high-fire physical attack with ultra encounter rate and physical resist down 35%, with endurance down 40%. That, if you get hit by that, you're going to hate life. But the nice part is, he buffs strength, agility, and fire attack damage on this turn, and then the beginning of turn 2, Lili comes out of the gate, uses that strength and agility buff to basically, like, just clip him as hard as she can, then removes those buffs, so when he hits her, he's going to hit like a flower. It's going to be great. So let's go ahead and jump into War Game here real quick, and I'll kind of show you what we're talking about, if I can get to the right screen. And I don't know if we're going to come up against a Lyd team, but we'll try it. So basically what I've done is I've built a team here that is central to making Lili as fast as humanly possible. When her agility stat comes up here, you will notice Alan, I believe Alan has the highest agility stat in the game, though mine isn't totally buffed up the best. But agility was over 2,100. Let's go look at that again. Oops. Yeah. So magic attack is almost 3,000, and her agility is 2,105. So remember that number, 2,105. So let's go ahead and jump in a War Game and see what we get here. All right. Let's just see if we get a Lyd team. We did not. But she'll even hold her own against these Magic Rush teams. Now, I'm a little, and I will admit, worried about this team. This team is not going to be a lot of fun to fight. But notice, they're handling it. They're taking, I mean, they're not making big chips away, but they're definitely handling their situation and really taking just what they need to out of that team. So I thought that team was going to be a lot harder to beat. That team actually turned out to be pretty good. Let's do another one, see if we can find a Lyd team. If not, I do know one we can go after. But let's just go ahead and do a little lizard man hunting. All right. We're in King 3, so there he is. All right. So this should be a really good example. This is like a very, I say classic fire team. It's using the new Haru, but yeah, new Haru is great. Don't get me wrong. I love the new Haru. I deliberately didn't use her on this team, though, because I didn't want to, like, rely on her heals. I wanted Lili to stand on her own. But if you have the new Haru, absolutely, she's great on this team. But notice this team is just absolutely rocking this and taking them apart. And my Sayaka isn't even max limit broken. Sayaka could use quite a bit more. So Lili really did kind of take that team apart. Let's see what Lyd was doing. Lyd's agility was 907. He's +1. I was hoping for a lot more than that. I'm disappointed I wasn't up against a tougher opponent. That's literally where we stand right now. All right, here's another one. Let's see what we got. I think they showed his level down there, and I think it was levels, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping he's max limit broken. I really am hoping. So turn 2, Lili won the race, and that's perfect. Even though she didn't do any damage because they have a lot of magic defense, the debuff happened, and that's really good. Now, obviously, we'd prefer for her to do a little more damage on that turn, but her secondary attack came in and did quite a bit, and, well, the results kind of are what they are now. Kind of disappointed that it took to turn 3, but I've got a way I could speed up this team, so it's just right now we're really focusing on Lili. So let's take a look at her opponent party. So we've got Lyd was +2. One more time. Now I do know a team that we will definitely be able to go fight, that this literally is designed to take out. But I really didn't want to resort to that. I really wanted to go in here and just kind of, like, go lead hunting in the wild. You know, I think it just makes the most sense. All right, so this team is not going to be it. But that Philvis, I do want to notice the Drunken Philvis, the one there that's third in line, she's roughly about the same except magic. And notice she's still not a threat. So Philvis is a really, really, and I kind of forgot to mention her, although she does buff a little bit later. Philvis is roughly the same, but for magic. So she's another good example of a unit that we just absolutely ignored. So let's see if that Philvis was maybe max limit broken. Please. She was. Okay. So this Philvis is, like I said, roughly the same, but for magic. And notice her agility, 1740. So we're way higher in agility, but I think Lyd honestly has a bit more agility. So, and if you're not familiar, agility basically is what makes you go first in the turn order. Agility is what makes you fast. But I'm going to go ahead and go down here, and I apologize to the person I'm going to pick on because I did literally design this team to take this team out. But this team has both Philvis and Lyd on this team. So Lyd has 1951 agility, and Philvis has 1485. Now, that Philvis also isn't max limit broken, but, you know, it is what it is. Lyd is going to be our biggest threat on this team, and it has Artie, who's going to be a great healer, and it has Zard, who can hit with a taunt if he's set right. So this right here is a challenging team. This is a Jester-level team that will easily prove quite fearsome if we're not careful. So let's go ahead and go in here to battle. Now, I do want you to pay attention one more time. 1951 was Lyd's agility numbers, and we're looking at 2105. So in theory, after all the buffs and everything, Lili should be faster. So let's see what happens here. Okay? Now I'm going to slow this down so we can pay close attention to it. All right. So you want to pay attention to turn 2. Turn 1's not as important as turn 2 is. Turn 1 is all about buffing and posturing and, you know, getting those first attacks out. Turn 2, Lili attacked first. Now, she didn't do a lot of damage, but she did attack first, and that takes away their buffs. So now they're going to be hard-pressed to do damage. Now, Lyd isn't taking as much damage, so we're going to go into turn 3 here. But the main thing is he had to rebuff, and that really negates the amount of damage that we're taking. All right? So now Lyd should fall on this turn. There he goes. He's done. He's done. So can we take out Otaro, get a counter, get a counter? There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So that's pretty much that. That's why I think this Lili is absolutely worthwhile. If you have not max limit broken this Lili, she is absolutely a phenomenal War Games unit. I feel really confident. That's why I went out of my way 100% to go max limit break her just to get this video out. Now, do you guys remember War Game is expiring tonight? War Game and 7th Zone are expiring tonight, not tomorrow. So you need to make sure that you get your final War Game runs in like today, which is I didn't even notice till this morning. Like I was stressing out because I'm like, oh. So I'm probably only going to get to King 1. I'm not going to be able to climb the Jester ranks, but you know, whale problems. But neither here nor there. You want to make sure you get these runs in. Make sure that you are kind of doing your thing. And if you have not given Lili a shot, make sure you do so. She's extremely good. Notice I haven't even lost a unit on this team, and I really could replace Sayaka. There, I'm King 2 now. I could replace Sayaka with Haruhime, get more healing. I mean, I could really build this team to be just as beefy as humanly possible. Lili is going to carry you, but the one thing I do want to mention, and I do want to make sure you guys know, the water Oni-Kitty, wind Oni-Kitty. Which one is she? I'm going to go pull her up real quick. So I'm using the water Oni-Kitty. It's the, let's break this down by Oni-Kitty units. Wind Oni-Kitty. This Oni-Kitty right here is another really good unit that kind of takes the wind out of their sails. She's another time limited. You're not going to get an opportunity to get her for probably another 6-7 months. But if you have her, do not use her with Lili, because right here, turn 1, she's going to remove strength, magic, and agility buffs, and that really takes the wind out of Lili's sails. Lili's then not able to do the amount of damage. I know it's tempting to. I know it seems like a good strategy, but I've seen a lot of people doing that, and remember, that is going to negate the amount of damage Lili can do if you're using her this way. Now, there's other ways to use her, and that is a viable combo if you're doing that right. But to take out Lyd, to really focus on, that physical agility threat. This is how you do it. Make sure you take advantage of this. And, like I've got right here, make sure your buffs, debuffs, and all that stuff are on point. I actually probably should have Finn where Sayaka is, but Sayaka has been holding her own, so I really just have no reason to do it. And make sure that you have the assist with the most agility on Lili, because otherwise you're just missing out. You really need to make sure that you're debuffing your opponent's agility as much as humanly possible so that you win that race. Because remember, they're going to buff too. Like, Lyd's coming out of the gate, he's going to buff himself, they're going to have assist buffs. You can't have two adventure buffs, but he's going to buff himself, he's going to get that assist buff. If you don't win that race, if you don't debuff and then buff yourself as well, because they are going to debuff you, you're missing out. There's War Game Strategy, guys. Go get your last runs in. Like, comment, share. I'll catch you guys on the next one.